to Paralytic Activities Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things creepy, kooky, weird and spooky, all done with an ale or two.
Yes, you stop, Neil. Yes, yeah. We've got it right this time, people. We have got it right. You know what Stabani's like, Neil?
I know what Stabani's
when he starts
like,
talking, we can't shut the bugger up, can we?
He keeps repeating himself like Joey Bunny.
Yeah. I'm glad to see he's doing a podcast, though. He's back on the scene,
He
Neil.
is, yeah,
he's back
yeah,
on the scene.
he is.
Anyway, welcome to Paralytic Activities Podcast. Tonight, we've got a special guest, Neil. He's in the green room now. His lip is on. His hair's done. He's just crawled out of his crypt. It's the host of Ghost Stories, Ian Hideous, Neil. That's what we've got.
Yes.
We've also got a paranormal album with a bit of difference. We've got a new section called The Ghost Detective. Our spirit guide, Deadhead, Neil. Remember him?
I remember Deadhead.
We haven't seen him for a while, have we?
Nah.
Well, he's come out the ghost closet, Neil.
I think he's been on holiday, John.
Oh, well, he's come out the ghost closet, Neil. That's what he's done. Now, I'm not saying he's gay. I'm not saying that at all. But he's come out the closet. His real name is Quentin Pinkerton. Quentin Pinkerton.
You got any brothers or sisters, John?
I have no idea, Neil. I don't know. He's a ghost, Neil.
Oh.
I don't know. So he's our ghost detective, and he's going to tell us the truth about some real historic ghost stories, Neil. That's what he's going to do. Orange here, to my right, has got another story in Orange Spills the Juice.
I'm running out, John.
You keep saying this every week now, but you always seem to pull another one out the hat. So, without further ado, Neil, what you been up to, kid?
You don't want to know what I'm up to, Johnny boy? Well, I'm trying to lose weight, so
You're doing a good job, kid.
I've lost nearly 10 kilos, John.
Yeah.
That's like, £20.
That's 10 bags of sugar.
15, well, 2.10. Yeah. Yeah, 10 bags of sugar.
10 bags of sugar, that is.
You get 10 bags of sugar in a carrier bag. Hold them out like that. You see how heavy that is.
That's whatever.
That's what I've lost in weight.
That's pretty good.
But I had a bit of a crap weekend, you know what I mean?
Here we go.
Because we went to the beer festival at the Cafe Metro, don't we?
Yes, here we go. I've got the T-shirts on, kid. Check it out. Cafe Metro in the house.
It's a beer festival. I ain't been drinking. All I've been drinking is vodka, soda water with a dash of lime, in a pint glass. And the barmaid looked at me going, seriously? I went, yeah, that's what I have, right? And it's working. On Saturday, I fancied a beer. And I did have a few ales, and I felt really guilty, John.
Well, we was out with the Mothman, or as we now call him, the Frothman.
The Frothman, yeah.
Hopefully, he's going to give us some beer review soon, isn't he?
Hopefully.
We had a great night. Black Country Beatles were top notch, as per normal.
Best I've ever seen them.
Gary Bales and the lads, absolutely fan-bloody-tastic.
Also, Johnny boy,
go on.
I've become a granddad.
Yeah, you have, Neil. Congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Little Merlin, but he's 2 months premature, but he'll get there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I ain't seen him yet, John.
What's his name? Merlin.
Merlin, yeah.
Let's hope he's got a wonderful left foot.
Better
than his dad, anyway. And his granddad.
The day after Cafe Metro, I'm feeling a bit rough. And I'm turning right in my car. And somebody in a big 4x4, John, didn't see me. And he went straight into the back of me. I nearly went through the windscreen, John.
It's a good job you died.
I know, I nearly went through the windscreen. And I'm a close person, you know what I mean? I thought all my back of my car was caved in. And when I got out the car, there was hardly anything marked on it, John.
There's nothing there, really.
Yeah, so the woman got out shaking and said apologising.
She had Parkinson's?
No, apologising and that, And I went, look, there's nothing happened to your car, nothing happened to mine. I could claim for whiplash, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she was a bit of a muncher as well.
Well, you could have said, you've gone into the back of me. I can go into the back of you.
If she'd have been good looking, I would have done. But I said, she went, I'm on holiday. I've got to go on holiday tomorrow. I'll tell you what, love, have a lovely holiday. Call it.
Neil, fair play to you. Fair play. One day, what goes around comes around, Neil. That's why I say something good will happen to you soon. What? I don't know. But Neil, have a guess what I watched the other day?
What?
I was going to actually do a flick the screen on it, but I'm not going to. Because it broke my heart so much.
Go on.
I love Ghostbusters, Neil.
Yeah.
I love Ghostbusters 1. I love Ghostbusters 2. The women one, the remake, no. absolute garbage. Ghostbusters, the last one, what was it called now? Afterlife.
Yeah.
It was all right, nothing special.
I quite enjoyed that.
But Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, oh my God, it is absolute dog shit. It is absolute dog shit. If you want to go and watch a Ghostbusters film, even though Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Egon, not Egon, he's dead. The other one,
he's gone.
yeah, they're all in it. Even her, yeah, we got one. She's a Ghostbuster now.
Never.
She is, Neil. She's put absolute shit. Absolute shit, Neil. The story's crap. There's nothing happening for about a good hour apart from the little girl talking to a ghost lesbian. No, it's not, Neil. No, it's not. No, it's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. And when the main villain turns up, the Iceman or wherever he is with the big horns and glowing eyes, it's on for 10 minutes. Now the film goes off.
Seriously,
it's shit. Absolute shit. And I don't really want to talk because it upsets me.
Like Rick Moranis, isn't he?
No. Rick Moranis retired years ago, Neil.
Did he?
Yeah, he had done a film since Sonny I Shrunk the Kids. I think he's still. I think he's still shrunk. I'm not too sure.
I think it's the Planted team. That's what it was.
That was it.
Little shop of horrors.
But yeah, Neil, it's not even worth watching. It is crap. And I hate it because I love Bill Murray. I love the Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. I like Paul Rudd as well. But so wasted, Neil.
Yeah.
Absolute shit. Absolute. I could talk about it forever. I might actually do a proper review on it, but I had to get that out of my system.
Well, I watched a few horror films with you, Dale John.
You did, Neil. We might talk about them in a bit. You don't know. Neil's finally started to watch some horror films, and he's over the moon. How you keep?
I'm over the moon. I really enjoy it.
Have some of bloody that.
No,
but Neil, on that bombshell right there, we're going to bring in tonight's guest. Neil, it's the host of Ghost Stories, Mr. Ian Hideous himself. Neil, let's bring him in. He's ready to rock and roll. Here
Hello.
we go.
Hey, you, pal.
How you doing, guys? I'm good.
You're right.
Good evening,
Yeah.
Ian.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
That's fine. It's actually our pleasure to have you on our show because we've been on your show twice, haven't we?
You have. It's quite nice for me to do it the other way around, and I haven't got to keep thinking of questions to ask people.
You haven't got to keep flicking through your book.
I have not. It is next to me. It is next to me, but I've got to keep flicking through it.
So
let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get cracking with the podcast.
Okay.
Ian, give everybody, the listeners, a good, quick synopsis of yourself.
Okay, I'm Ian Hideous. I'm the host of Ghost Stories with Ian Hideous on Black Country Radio Extra. I host a late night talk show, I suppose we could call it, in which I get local ghost hunters on and basically anyone with an interest in the paranormal or supernatural or horror films. And we have a little natter about them, and you can catch it on demand on Black Country Extra.
Fantastic.
It's an absolute fantastic show. There's been some really good people on it, especially us, of course.
Yes, you've been on it twice. That's some of my favorite. You guys are some of my favorite guests.
Oh, bless you.
Some of our favourite guests. Now, do we
I'll tell you what, though, I'd like to have seen that magician.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Damon Conlon. Yeah, he was doing. He actually did the Ghostbusters trick on me. You know, you've mentioned in Ghostbusters a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
You know when Bill Murray does that student with the electrodes at the start with the wavy lines and the triangle, he did that to me. He didn't electrocute me, but he did get the cards on me, and I fell for it. Bless him. I did. He said as a great man once said, he's a big fan of David Copperfield. You know, the man who allegedly made the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Yeah,
but still there.
Yeah, well, this is it. He made the Statue of Liberty disappear. He produced the pyramids out of nowhere, and he got stuck in a lift.
I know it is, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone's got their limitations. Everyone's got their limitations. We all do.
I forgot to mention, Neil. Do you know we went to Cafe Metro?
Yeah.
And we haven't done a paranormal ale, have we? But I have got a drink. This is tonight's paranormal ale, people. Dead Man's Fingers. Passion fruit and lemonade, absolutely stunning.
Ooh.
Look how good this looks.
That's fancy. Yeah. I was going to mention something to you guys. I saw a picture the other day. It was a Guinness and one of the monster drinks. They'd put them together.
Yeah,
and it looked like sort of thing Homer Simpson would drink, you know. So I did many years ago. Do you remember the Planet in Wolverhampton? It was a rock nightclub. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of my greatest ideas of all time after watching The Simpsons. Do you remember when people had glow sticks in nightclubs in the 90s? Well, it said...
Neil still uses them, Ian.
Hey, why not? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But it said on the box to these glow sticks, non-toxic. So I had a really good idea. I thought I'll break one open, drink some of it, then I can open my gob and I'll be like emitting a radioactive glow like Homer Simpson. I'll tell you what. I thought I was going to die. I don't know what's the. It says non-toxic, but oh my god. Yeah, not my smartest moment, but yeah, what you live and learn. It was the 90s. We were allowed to do that in the 90s.
I wonder what you when you went to the toilet to have a slash. I wonder what that was like. It's like one of the Ghostbusters.
I can't answer. I can't answer that one. I can't answer that one.
Lightsaber.
I like that. I've got a couple of lightsabers. I've got the Kylo Ren one, and I really want. If any listeners to the show want to give me a present, I really like the Luke Skywalker green lightsaber, but I can't find one at a reasonable price.
You should have. If I'd have met you last year, we could have got you one from Universal Studios. Not Universal. Where did we go now? Hollywood Studios. Galaxy's Edge.
Oh,
they would have had one there.
But that was amazing.
Brilliant. So, Neil, let's get on with the old paranormal talk. What do you think?
Let's do for this.
So, Ian, what kind of got you interested in the paranormal in the first place?
It's pretty much a lifelong obsession with anything macabre or ghostly. I'll say I was the kid. I was the kid that if you took him to the fair, if you took him to the Alton Towers, I'd want to go on the ghost train. I'd want to go on the haunted house. And I'm still that person. If you go to Alton Towers with me now, I'm going on the haunted house 10 times. And, you know, if there was any spooky things, like, you remember the Beano and the Dandy? There was briefly a comic in the UK. It's by the creators of Eagle and Dan Dare. It's called Scream. It's worth a fortune now if you've got it. And I vividly remember as a child seeing the advert for that on television and thinking, you know, I've got to have that. It's like some rundown mansion and there's lightning crashing against the window. And for whatever reason, they've got a brand new comic in the house. You know, they must have a fairly good newsagent in Amityville. But anything like that, if there was ever a Halloween special, I always used to, you know, enjoy it. If I ever watched the wrestling, I always wanted to be Papa Shango and stuff like that. You know, anything. I'm just that person who's fascinated. Maybe I'm too nosy for my own good, because I always wanted to look behind the curtain. I always wanted to know how things worked. I always wanted to, I always wanted to be something more. I think that's just me.
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. I always like the ghost stories. I get goosebumps. I mean, I have got a big, massive book.
What are you going to say?
It's called Chiller. I don't remember Chiller. You actually collect every magazine and put it in a big binder. Well, I'll show you one day. Our good friend Jack McAvoy, he collected them and he gave it me now. Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Is
that anything to do with the 90s TV series Chiller?
I think it is, I think it is.
There was like an anthology series called Chiller. Martin Clunes is in one of the episodes. I think he was having a break from men behaving badly, and I think he thought, let's do a ghost story. And naturally, when you think of a late night, supernatural ghost story, naturally you think Martin Clunes. Where else can we go wrong? But that was something I loved as a kid as well. We used to go to I'm from Stourbridge, and we used to go on Saturday nights. My mum and dad would take me and my younger brother to Wordsley Labour Club some nights. And we'd come back, and sometimes our parents would let us have a Chinese or something like that. And we'd always see, there was like a late night horror film on, and we'd see things like The Fly. Oh God, what else was on? The Witches, not the Roald Dahl one, the Horror Hotel. It's also called. And a film that has stayed with me vividly is the John Carpenter's The Fog. Well, in fact, this shows my grown-upness. I've been reading comics today, And there's a company called Sumerian who are, I don't know if you can see this. They're doing. Hang on. I don't know if you, can you see it? They're doing. They're doing a continuation story of the original Fog, not the 2004 one, that was terrible, but the 1980, the Fog. And the story picks up again now. And I'm 3 issues in and I'm a bit, I want to see how it ends, but it didn't really need to exist, in my opinion. In my opinion.
But it's like when the Fog, the sailors come back from the dead, because obviously the lighthouse wasn't working or something like that. Can't remember, but they always had a hook. They would be banging on the door, and then the priest something with a cross, and then they'd do all that malarkey. They'd kill the priest, and they'd bugger off again. So where would it take them next?
Well, that's the problem, because the Fog is one of those few horror films that wraps everything up. And it's made really clear early on. And the reason I memorise this is I do music, and in my band we're currently recording our next EP. And I actually wrote a song called "The Fog," which I recorded the vocals to last week. And I actually pretty much say the rules to the film in the chorus. And there is a 6 must die, which is. There were 6 conspirators that killed these poor sailors, and basically they've come back for 6 lives, 6 souls, which they get. He gets his gold back, and jobs are good. But I'll give you a rough example, a rough synopsis of this. You think, okay, they're bringing the ghosts back. Let's see what they look like and everything like that, because that's one of the beauties of the Fog. We don't really see them. We see them in the dark, don't we?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I wonder how that's going to work on paper. But I thought, we've got a really iconic villain, the dreaded Captain Blake with the glowing red eyes and stuff like this. But it turns out in this new story, the ghosts have come back to Antonio Bay, but it's not Captain Blake that's leading them. Do you remember in the 1980 film, there's a weatherman in the lighthouse that keeps flirting with Adrienne Barbeau? And she keeps telling him not to answer the door, and he's like, "Well, he gets all Bobby 10 tops, and he's like, I'm answering it, and whoever's there ain't gonna like the fact I'm here." And he opens it and gets killed. Well, somehow he's leading the ghosts now.
That's
which is a bit stupid. It's
at least you know what the weather's going to be like.
Well, that's it. He picks a good night to do it. So, if you're going to be walking around a small town all night, you don't want it to be raining, do you?
No. Ian, have you watched the Geordie version?
I can't say I have.
Yeah. The fog on the town is all mine, all mine. The fog on the town is all mine. Come on, Gascoigne's
I thought Gazza might appear somewhere. Bless him.
So,
I used to work. Yes.
Did you? Go on. So,
I used to work with a Geordie, and he absolutely loved that song. He really liked it when you sang it to him over and over again.
He was a proud Geordie then, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
So how did ghost stories come about then, Ian?
By accident. I've always enjoyed performing, but I've been in a few music videos, and I always get cast as a bad guy, which is crazy because that's not me at all. I always like performing. I always love doing stuff with bands. I've been in bands since I was 17. I'm 44 now. And in my 30s, I retired from it. I was done with it. I was done with performing. I was done with everything like that. And during recent events, when people suddenly had a lot more time on their hands, I got bored and I decided to start making music again. And I dug out a digital 8-track, and I played everything. I did the drums, I did the bass, I did the guitar, I did the singing. And one thing led to another, and I started talking to a guy called Jason who lives in Birmingham, who's originally from Los Angeles. And he and I started talking. It turned out he played bass, I sang and played guitar and stuff like that. And we said, let's do something. And the original idea was just to make one CD and do one show. Just, I had music, he had music. Let's just do one thing and see what happens. Nearly 3 years later, we're playing all over the country and we're doing our second album. But I digress, as I'm prone to do. We've been going about a year, and we went on Black Country Radio. We went on the rock show. which is hosted by the wonderful Steve Taylor on a Monday evening from 9 till 11. It's a great, great show. And I got talking to him, and he was saying Black Country Radio have a sister station called Black Country Extra, and they have podcasts about everything. There's recently a wrestling podcast started on there. There's yes, there's a good friend of ours. A good friend of ours does a rap show on there, I believe, Mr. Russ Bevan. And there's even, I believe, I can't think of the name of it, but I know there's a fishing show on there. So they do everything. And one thing led to another, and there was there was talk of a supernatural show. And I was like, well, I'll host it. And one thing led to another, and I got the gig, and now I'm hosting it.
Absolutely.
And I've been
doing. You felt lucky there, pal, because you know what? I mean, I've listened to every show you've done, and you're the perfect host. You're the perfect host. You are.
Thank you. It was a bit daunting at first because I'm an experienced public speaker because I've been doing bands for nearly 30 years, but I'd never ever presented before. I'd been interviewed, but I'd never been the guy doing the interviewing, and it took there was a few teething problems. That's the wrong word. There was learning curves to it. Because what I would really love to do, and I hope I get to do this in the near future, is some of the teams I had on at the very start, I'd love to have them back on and see how I'd interview them now. Because there's a trial and error thing, figuring out what worked and what didn't work. Because there was no rehearsals to it. I mean, you guys have been on the show. We don't rehearse, do we?
No.
We sit down. I ask a few things, and Todd presses the green button, and away we go. So I'd love to see how I'd handle the earlier shows, the guests from the earlier shows. Now, I'd love to do that.
That's a really good idea. It's a really good idea. So that leads me on to the next question, Ian. You're doing a show called Ghost Stories. What, in your opinion, makes a good ghost story?
Not knowing all the answers. I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft. And I think his books are great to read, but they make terrible films because so much of it happens up here. It's too much of it's from the mental point of view. I mean, it's why Stephen King books make such good films because they're not. And this is no disrespect to Stephen King, but they're not the most complicated of stories, which is why they make great films. And it's why H.P. Lovecraft stories make terrible films because there's too much. But he always said, if you know all the answers, if you know everything, there's no horror. It's not scary. You know what I mean? It's like the old Santa. It takes the magic away. It's like the old Santa Claus thing. Everyone loves Christmas. Everyone loves the magic of Santa Claus. There's nothing worse than going to the Merry Hill Centre or something, having someone go, look, I'll take off my big white beard. I'll take off my red jumper. I'm really someone's uncle. That would ruin the magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Especially if you see him in the pub next door as well.
Well, yeah. We need to there's something so much to be said for playing along. There's I think in terms of what makes a great story, something that leaves you guessing. Kim Newman said once, the horror author. He said a great ghost story. When you read an average ghost story, it's like going on a ghost train. But when you stop reading it, you get off the ghost train. When you read a really good thing, like I don't know, like The Woman in Black, like the original book, when you finish reading it, when you put that book down and go to bed, you're still on the ghost train. Your mind's, it's still going. You're still thinking about it. You're like, oh God, she's not under my bed, is she, or something like that.
Well, one thing about The Woman in Black is you never get off the ghost train; it sticks with you.
No, that's it. She's like the equalizer, isn't she? Yeah. Oh, Neil, you must.
Ian, we was going to watch it on Sunday night, but we chose to watch. What did we choose to watch instead? The Conjuring 2. That's what. So the Woman in Black.
It's the best Conjuring. The second Conjuring is the best one out of the lot. I thought the first one was okay, and I know I've seen the third one, but I've forgotten most of it. But I did like the second one.
Yeah, I did like the second one, obviously because it's close to home. It's the Enfield Haunting, you know,
Yes.
and they do a good. I wouldn't say it's a good adaptation of it because it's so far fetched. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. My only criticism: how did you feel about them adding effectively Slender Man into the Enfield Haunting?
The Crooked Man. I thought it was a disgrace. It was an
Yeah, so
absolute
it
disgrace.
didn't need that. Didn't need that.
Didn't need none of that.
Bloke.
Yeah, didn't need none of that at all. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Haunting of Hill House on Netflix.
No, I haven't.
You need to watch that because it's absolutely fantastic. But there is a similar character in that, but he's a man who's very tall with a walking stick with a bowler hat, and he doesn't walk; he floats. It's fantastic. It's so creepy and so scary. And the good thing about the Haunting of Hill House, nearly in every scene in the background, there's a ghost somewhere, but you have to find it.
That's cool. That's cool.
So,
I like stuff like that.
Yeah. So going back to like ghosts and stuff and the paranormal, has anything ever happened to you, Ian, personally, that you kind of questioned your own sanity and gone, what the fucking hell was that?
There's been a few little things over the years. Unfortunately, on a massive level, I fear I'm not receptive. Maybe I want it too much. You know, a few years, the closest I think I ever came to seeing a ghost, in my own opinion, was a few years ago. I was in London, and I was staying at what they called the little tablet hotels, the capsule hotels, you know, the really small ones.
Okay.
I was staying at one of those in London, and as I was walking from the reception back to the room with a coffee, there was a lady stood in the corner, literally like all sort of hunched up, like a real little old lady. And she was almost, you know, when you get the impression it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
you know,
shouldn't be there.
That was quite creepy. I'm more of a collector of stories. People tell me things that have happened to them locally and things like that, but unfortunately, they don't really happen to me. You know what I mean? And that's it's so frustrating. It's not for time. I do try my best. I mean, as a teenager, we used to do all the Ouija board and stuff like that. You know, we've done it in the woods and so on and so forth, and nothing ever happens to us. Nothing happened in past tense, you know. So unfortunately, not.
But you never know who that old woman was. You know what I mean? It's stuck with you to this day. It's like you say, with that old woman, you're still on the ghost train with it.
Yes, I don't have an answer for that situation. I'm sure I'm racking my brain now. I'm sure there was something else. If I think of something, I'll come back to it. I'm sure I saw something else once and thought, what the hell was that? I mean, a mate of mine, Paul, he has no interest. Well, I won't say he has no interest. He'll watch a horror film, but in terms of going out finding stuff, he's got no interest in that. And he has things happen to him all the time. It's too strong a word. He's had it a few times in his life, and he had one of those. What's the word for it in a film? Like a jump scare. When he said he was in his flat on his own, he was watching I think it was a music video, and you know, as in literally, I'm going back to it would have been a VHS. And you know when you're watching something like a film or a video, and you'll have one of those scenes in the film where the screen will go black for a second as it changes scenes. Yeah. He says, as that happened, it sort of like when the screen went black, it reflected the room back at him. You know what I mean? Am I making sense? Yeah. It sort of showed the reflection of the room, and in the doorway next to him on the sofa, there was just a figure stood in the doorway, and he said he looked. He looked round and there was no one there, and he purposely rewound the tape to see what he'd seen was on the tape, and when he played it again, it wasn't there.
See, that's
pretty cool.
I just shit myself.
Literally.
I swear to God, stuff like that it's like mirrors when people look in the mirrors in horror films, and they've got
you know someone's going to pop up behind them.
That's the kind of thing that scares fucking death. You know what I mean?
And I can vouch that Neil would shit himself because I've been with him when he shit himself quite a few times there.
Oh, man.
What do you mean, John?
Literally.
Cheeky guess.
So, Ian, I also know that you are a massive horror fan.
I am.
A massive horror fan. So, get your choppers around this.
Okay.
What is your favourite genre of horror? Because, you know, all horror films are the genre. You know, which is your favourite? I've got my favourite. What is yours?
Can I say 80s? Is that a genre?
I don't think that's classed as a genre, but it's a good shout. But I don't think. I mean, I was kind of thinking like, you know, your ghost films, your slashers, your horror thrillers, your zombies, your bloody
If I had
monsters.
to, if I had to pick I'd say supernatural / monster. You know, as the Fog was a great example. Stuff like Night of the Creeps. The Unnameable, then, but that was a Lovecraft one, The Unnameable. I'm trying to think of some. You know, I always got drawn to, and what I always thought rewarded me so well was the big box horrors. You know what I mean? And that's another one of my favourites. Again, it's zombies, but to me, they're more monsters. Return the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Because I know. Oh, it is, and I know they're zombies, but to me, they're a bit more monstrous than zombies. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a monster movie. I know it's not horror, but I love Godzilla and stuff like that. I actually recently listened to the whole audiobook of Return the Living Dead, and it offers a few more explanations and stuff like that, and that's really, really cool.
I might have to check that out.
So,
man.
the full thing. If I can find it later, I'll forward it to you because the full thing was on YouTube. And they even give a bit more history. You know, the Tar Man.
Yeah. I love the Tar Man. When I first saw the Tar Man, it blew my socks off.
Did you know they changed his voice? If you watch the original VHS version and you watch it on DVD, he's got a different voice. He used to be a lot more shrill. He used to sound a lot more like Cartman, whereas they lowered his voice quite a few octaves. But you know, in terms of favourite genre, supernatural monster. But I've got to. I know it's not a genre, but I've got to say 80s as well. You know, anything that was in the video shop when I was a kid.
Yeah. But it's like the 80s was prone to slashers, wasn't it? It was mainly slashers in the 80s.
We had a huge amount of slashers, and I think slasher movies done right can be great, but there's a lot of slashers that really aren't very good. There's some, you know, for every Halloween, for every original Friday the 13th, there's 10 intruders and stuff like Tenebrae, and oh God, what was the other one? Me and a friend were talking about it the other day. It's one of the Italian ones. Oh, the one with Jennifer Connelly and Phenomena. We had it over here as Creepers. It was one of the Palace Horror section.
Sleepaway Camp. Things like that. All kind of the same.
That's not bad. Sleepaway Camp's not bad, but
not bad. The Burning.
Burning's great. Oh, The Burning's amazing. Burning's one of the best films. A lot of people. The weird thing is, a lot of people say that they don't like and this is so unfair, that they say they don't like The Burning because they think it rips off Friday the 13th too much, which it does. But in my opinion, it's better than a lot of Friday the 13th.
I totally agree.
You know,
agree.
It clearly does steal from it, but it's just better. You know, anything after the first 4 Friday the 13th are quite good. The sixth, I think, is it 6? Jason Lives, one where the first one where Jason's supernatural. Is it number 6?
Ian, I lost count when he went to space.
Yeah, that wasn't good, was it? You know, it's. What are they? Ugh. Do you know there was a Hellraiser, wasn't there? Hellraiser 4 when Pinhead's in space, and you just thought, what the? Which was that? I mean, I know I can talk because I do like a bit of Battenberg, but there was one Hellraiser. I don't know which level of hell's got the all-you-can-eat buffet in, but Pinhead had certainly found it, and yeah, and Pinhead's there just glaring at the camera. He's like, "Oh, give me the box." He's like, "Oh, no, the French fancies." You know, it's
the vol-au-vents.
Yeah. Oh, the apple. What are they called? That? Oh, I want an almond slice now. They're badass.
So I'm talking about Pinhead, Ian.
Yes.
If you could be any horror villain for the day, which horror villain would you be, or would suit you best?
Oh, I'd definitely pick something supernatural. One thing I don't like what he does to people, but I like the fact Pennywise can be anything. You know,
Yeah.
I love the shape changing idea. I love the chameleon-esque of being whatever you want. I know Freddy can do that at times in dreams, but Freddy's too limited because it only works if if you're scared of him, doesn't it? And as soon as what's her name? Oh God, Nancy. As soon as Nancy's on the case, Freddy buggers off.
I reckon they had a love-hate relationship. That's why.
Yeah, he clearly liked her. I'm trying to think now. I'll probably think of something far better later, but I'll say Pennywise purely because you're limitless, or something like what's his name? Terrible film, but Randall Flagg from The Stand, uh, Stephen King's supernatural demigod, because he can do pretty much anything as well. So something like that.
Let's stick with Pennywise. At least we all know who he is.
We do.
And to be fair, Ian, you probably would suit a clown costume. Yeah, I mean, you can
I
see
have a clown costume. Well, believe it or not, I actually played a clown in a music video. It's on YouTube. There's a band called Left for Red, and they made a music video called Master of the Game, which is meant to explore every band member's fear. And their guitarist was frightened of clowns, and I was cast as the clown in the video. So I'm in that.
Write that down.
I ain't got a pen, John. I ain't got one.
What was it called? So I'm going to look that up myself.
The band are called Left for Red, and the video is called Master of the Game.
I look forward to that.
It's on YouTube. There's another video as well. I'm dressed as a bounty hunter in another video, but that's not by them. That's by Winterstorm. But can I say a naughty word on this show?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, so when I'm on my show, I have to be very, very restrained. Funny story about when I was in the clown costume. When Left for Red did the album launch at the O2 Academy in Birmingham, I was invited along, and so were some of the other ghosts from the video. And naturally, I was in full costume, which wasn't fun because I had to wear it for 4 hours. And I'm there in costume, just wandering around trying to scare people and stuff. And there's a bunch of lads in there, like a bit of a rugby player type group. And I can see them looking at me, and I'm like, oh no. And the one comes over, and he's like, "You're a clown, are you?" I said, "I think so." And he goes, "Do you see me mate over there?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "He's got a clown phobia." He goes, "Go and hug him. It'll really fuck him up." so naturally, I did. But bless him.
Fair enough. You've got to do it. Yeah, if someone said go and do
Oh,
it,
you've got to.
Bite the bullet. So, Ian, we're going to move on to a little section now called Orange Spills the Juice. Now, our good friend here, Orange, is the most unluckiest, clumsiest person on the planet. I've actually seen him trip over a wireless network. He is that clumsy. So, Neil, what story have you got for us? I mean, all these stories are true, aren't they, Neil? These have always happened, every single one. So, Neil, what have you got for me, for Ian, and the listeners?
Never knows how bad it was, John. It was I've run out of stories now.
You keep saying this now.
I've had 100. I mean, my daughter's writing a book of all the stories that I've done, and now I'm trying to scrap the barrel a bit. You know what I mean? But what it was my honeymoon, and I used to have this car. I used to have a Fiat, and you could hear it coming 3 blocks away. The people are now that I was coming because you could hear it from miles away, like a bit like Godzilla's walking through the streets, that type of thing, Anyway, I was going to Devon on my honeymoon. And it was in the summer, John, and it was absolutely roasting. It got to be 150 degrees. Anyway, got to Bristol. Traffic jam. There was an accident on the motorway.
Yeah.
And it was that bad. We couldn't even wind the windows down because the windows were jammed. Nothing works on the car. It's fucking useless. I went to Devon in it. I do not know.
Sounds like a clown car.
I know. And we were sitting on the barriers in the middle of the motorway for about 2 hours, John. It's a standstill. Anyway, this was about we've been driving now about 7 hours. And the kids were pissed off. I was pissed off. The ex-missus was pissed off. Anyway, we got to Torquay, and I went, "Can you smell petrol?" I'm gone. I can smell fucking petrol. So I've lifted the bonnet up, and there's petrol gushing out the engine, at the car, like the engine, you know. And I'm like, I can't drive this car. It's like a ticking time bomb, you know what I mean? And a little spark, and we're all going up. You know what I mean? This is my honeymoon. So,
the only thing would exploded on that honeymoon.
I'm sure I'll keep that between ourselves. And I went to this hotel. I went, "How much for the night?" It was about £170 for a family room. I went, "What? One night?
In a Premier Inn?"
I don't know what it was. It was a nice. It was in Torquay.
Okay.
And I went, "I ain't in the RAC. I ain't in the AA. I ain't in B&Q. You know, I'm gonna have to phone a pickup truck, and it's gonna cost a bit of money. Like, but it was only about 2 mile away from the holiday camp. It was like an holiday camp, and I will never forget this. My car's being towed on my honeymoon with my kids and my missus, and I've looked back and the car's there being towed, and he pulled onto the car park, and he just dropped it there like a fucking piece of meat, on the car park. £70, 2 mile, right? 70 quid. And because where we was in the middle of nowhere in Devon, you need a car to travel places, don't you?
Of course you do.
So I found this garage. I rolled the car down the hill. There was a garage at the bottom of the hill, and all it was a seal. The seal had come off the engine, and it took an whole week to get this seal. And I got my car back the day we was going, right? And I looked at my bank statement, and they took double the price out, John. They took £270 out.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was fine. I went, but it was £70. I went, he said, "Oh, you've took two lots to send 140 quid, John. Just to walk 2 mile, man." And that was my honeymoon. It was shit. And when I got there on the night, when they dropped the car off, I needed a drink. Went to the bar because we shut.
Did you have any beer in the car?
No.
What's going on?
In the car, I can't drink on the way there, can I?
No, but you have some in the boot to take into your...
John, the boot was full. The car was full. Only thing that was full was my belly.
Makes a change. Anyway, Ian, I've got a motto. Yeah. I'd rather have it than not need it, than need it and not have it.
Oh, definitely.
So that's why I've always got, when I go on holiday, at least a bottle of Jack Daniels in the boot. You know.
What is it with you with Jack Daniels, John?
I don't know. I like to be Jack.
I remember the one saying, right, so I was in the kitchen, and my ex-missus was talking to her mate in the living room, right? And I heard her say, "Neil's like Daniels in bed." So I put my head round the door. I went, "What, Paul Magic?" He went, "No, Jack, good liquor."
Nah, man. Do you like Maker's Mark, John?
Yes, I do. It's a nice little tot, that is.
I haven't drank for a very long time, but that's one thing I did used to enjoy. That was one of the better ones. That was.
It is. Ian, we're going to bring in a special guest just for you.
Ooh.
And just for the listeners as well. Let me just see if I can bring him in. Bear with me. Just going to present it to you right now. If I can remember how to do it. Here we go. Here he is, Neil.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Ian, can you see him? There's Quentin, the ghost detective. He's our new character.
Yes. I can see Quentin.
Quentin used to be our spirit guide. He was called Deadhead, but he's come out the closet now and he's told us his real name. And he's a ghost detective from the other side, from the 1800s. It's called Quentin Pinkerton. And he's going to tell us the truth, that he's going to crack the case of the haunting of the Borley Rectory. And he sent me a voice message from the other side. So pin your ears back, people. Let us introduce you to our new character of the show, Quentin, the ghost detective. Take it away, Quentin.
Hello there. Yes, thanks, John. How are you? Hi, Neil. This is me, Quentin. John has asked me to do a little section here on the podcast, so that's what I'm doing. Great to be here. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about Borley Rectory. Now, that is supposed to be the most haunted house in Britain. Oh, what a load of old codswallop. It's a load of old shit. Don't believe a word that bloody Harry fucking Price has to say. He's a bloody idiot. Anyway, right, so labelled as one of the most haunted houses in England. Bollocks. One of the earliest sightings is a nun. But there was no nuns there. It used to be a monastery, so you'd expect some spooky monks, or not a bloody nun. Anyway, according to local folklore, a nun from nearby nunnery fell in love with a monk from the monastery, and the pair attempted to elope together, and they were found and sentenced to death. The monk was reported to have been sent to the gallows in the monastery, while the nun was sealed into the walls of the nunnery alive. So there you go, there's where the story comes from. There's no fucking nun. Anyway, Harry fucking Price lived there for a year, did some experiments, and this, that, and the other. What a load of old shit. Anyway, one of the people that was that were there investigating with Harry fucking Price was hit on the head with a pebble, which came from Price's direction. So the young man went over to Price and confronted him, and found that in his pockets were a series of different shaped pebbles. Harry fucking Price had been fucking throwing pebbles all about the place, trying to cause a bit of a ruckus. He was causing all sorts of shenanigans. Harry fucking Price, the shenanigator. All a load of bollocks. I'm not sure what you think over there, paranormal activities, or the listeners, but I would like you to let me know. Yes. Anyway, thanks for having me on. Yeah. So hopefully I shall be back again. And I look forward to it. Okay. See you later. TTFM, toodaloo.
Well, thank you, Quentin.
So there you go. Quentin Pinkerton, the ghost detective, actually cracking the case of Borley Rectory. Now, no one's ever cracked it. Our ghost detective has just cracked probably the biggest ghost story in England's history, or one of the most haunted houses ever to be in England. Have somebody that Harry fucking Price.
I remember reading that.
Price wasn't right that time.
It wasn't. I remember reading that years ago, that the owner of the Borley Rectory had been caught throwing stones, because one of the big supernatural things there was pebbles flying, and they did actually catch the owner doing it, didn't they? So, have you ever heard of that case?
He wasn't the owner. He was the paranormal investigator.
I knew he was someone big there. Do you guys remember that case? It's a really fascinating one from Germany, where they kept hearing voices in a dentist, and it was like a supernatural voice, and they thought it was coming from the walls and everything like that. And it turns out it was one of the dental assistants just putting a voice on, but they were just turning round to do it. And, it got in all the papers. Oh. It's actually, you've seen The League of Gentlemen, haven't you? The comedy show. Hare Lip, the character? That's where Hare Lip's voice comes from. How he keeps saying Alice Clark all the time. That's taken from that story, because there's recordings of this ghost, and it's basically Hare Lip's voice, but it turned out it was just someone turning around and putting a voice on.
That is shocking, Ian. I mean, personally, I thought you was going to say it was a pair of teeth in a glass.
No.
Chattering away in a glass.
No, nothing so sinister. Nothing so sinister.
Ian, We have got 10 minutes left already. It's gone
Right.
like that.
It's flown tonight, hasn't it? Well, I can't thank you enough for having me on.
We need to move straight on to Paranormal. This is all about you, Ian. It's all about you. Quick answers, though, pal. Quick answers.
Let's do it.
Ian, you are on a Ouija board, and you are communicating with a dead celebrity, a celebrity who's passed. Who would you like to talk to, and what would you ask them?
Oh God, I'm gonna say maybe the original, the second drummer of Kiss, Eric Carr, because he passed away. Yeah. Not the most exciting answer, but that's my most truthful. Oh, what would have happened in Kiss if you hadn't passed away? Because that's a bit of a theory with all those Kiss fans. No, not the most interesting answer, but a truthful one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was he the one who dressed as a cat?
No, that's the original drummer. The Eric Carr was the second drummer. He used to wear like a fox type makeup.
Right.
Brilliant.
Do you base yourself on, when you do like your conscience and that, do you base yourself on like?
Based on what, sorry?
Do you like base yourself like on Kiss type of band?
There's certainly a Kiss element in it, yeah. There's elements of Kiss, the Misfits, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, just me, depending on how creative I can be bothered to be with makeup that day. Because some days I'll really, really do a fancy design. Other days I'll just put paint around my eyes and smudge it. So it all depends what mood I'm in.
You don't wear stockings suspended, do you?
Well, not out in the open. Not out in the open.
Oh, brilliant. Ian, have you heard of Room 101?
I have.
Okay, Ian, I'm giving you the opportunity now, Ian, to put 3 things into Room 101. Now, these can be anything to do with the paranormal, anything to do with horror or films or celebrities, really anything what you want to banish into Room 101. Quickly tell me, who do you want to get in and banish forever?
Oh, can I say a horror film? Can I say a horror film?
You can say whatever you want. It's your room. You're banishing whatever you want.
Do you remember there was a really, really bad one a few years ago called Demons Never Die? It was meant to be Britain's resurgence in horror. And it had, I think it had bloody Tulisa in from N-Dubs as one of the main actors. And I was just like, nah, that's going in the bin. I've got a better one. What definitely deserves to go in the bin is you've seen Halloween Kills, the second one in the new Halloween film. Well, they come up with the most god awful slogan in that, and all the characters and cast keep shouting "Evil dies tonight" over and over again. I think they were trying to get it on a T-shirt or something, but I'm sorry, the only place that slogan's going is in the bin. So definitely Halloween Kills can go in 101 as well. Definitely.
One more then, please, Ian. One more.
Oh, probably. Oh God, things to go in the bin. Okay, this is just my opinion, because people that have horror novels and don't read them, people that have horror novels and use them as ornaments, that was a huge bugbear of mine in the 90s. You'd go around someone's house and you'd see like a Stephen King collection or a Lovecraft or a Graham Masterson collection on their bookshelf, and you'd say to them, "Oh, are they any good?" And they'd say, "Oh, I don't know, I've never read them." So those people can go firmly in the bin as well. Yeah.
It's like people who've got DVDs. It's good. Oh, that's a cracking DVD. Demons by Dario Argento. Do you like that? I've never watched it. So why have you got it then?
Exactly. The books, DVDs, they're not ornaments. I'm a firm believer. If you're going to get something, be it a film, a book, whatever, use it, enjoy it. Don't sit it on the shelf and look at it. So definitely.
Exactly. And that leads us straight on, Ian. Leads us straight on to Ian Hidious's quickfire 10. Now,
Okay.
all you've got to do is answer yes or no
Okay.
to these questions, and then we'll kind of pick the bones out of them later. So, Neil, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ian, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Here's your first one. Ian Hidious's quickfire 10. Is an Ouija board a way to communicate with the dead?
Yes.
What are you making me laugh, Neil? Are aliens already amongst us?
Yes.
Is the lady in white better than the woman in black?
No.
Is the Vengabus better than an incubus?
They can both go off the cliff. Oh God, I'll say yeah.
Could you beat a poltergeist at Jenga?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
On a night out, does Orange have more slashes than Freddy Krueger?
I can't answer. Am I meant to say yes?
I'd probably say yes if I were you. I've been out with him a couple of times. He has more
yeah.
slashes than Freddy Krueger.
Let's say yes.
Number 7, does Bigfoot have a human dick or a red rocket?
Oh God. Let's say Red Rocket. Let's go the Chewbacca route and say Red Rocket.
A dog dick. Number 8, was the Dudley Dorito a flying samosa or a UFO?
A UFO.
Is the Ghost Stories radio show better than the Archers?
Oh God, yes.
And your last one, number 10 for Ian Hideous's Quickfire 10. Do ghosts exist?
Yes.
Fantastic. That concludes your Quickfire 10, Ian. Now, we did have a few signal issues through that. So if anybody was waiting for an answer, that's why there's a bit of a gap. But that's the internet for you. Even though you pay £100 a bloody month, it's still shit.
Yeah.
So, Ian, that concludes our episode tonight, pal. Thanks for coming on. You've been absolutely fantastic, as per normal.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Absolute pleasure.
You've got to get you on again, Ian.
Definitely. Hopefully we'll get a better signal. Ian, I'm going to put...
Yeah.
Go on, carry on.
Oh, sorry, your mouth was moving, but
and we're going to chat with you.
Yeah,
there's a bit of a delay going on. The delay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you in the green room. Just say thanks for coming on, and we'll speak to you. Don't vanish.
Cheers, people. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So there you go, Neil. Some issues there with the old gremlins in the machine. The internet, absolute crap. But, you know, we got through it, Neil, and that's the main thing. It only happened at the end, so the podcast will be absolutely fine as per normal, Neil. So, yeah, what did you think about Ian Hideous bringing Quinn on the show?
He's a legend, John.
He is a legend.
We've only known him about a month.
I think he's my new best friend, Neil.
Yeah, he's one of those people who you can just talk to. Get him in a pub. I know he don't drink.
He don't need to drink, does he?
Don't need to drink. Get him in a pub, and he'll just be some of the stories and everything. He knows about everything, don't he? Yeah. It's like one of those people who talks all night.
It's very true. So, Neil, anybody who wants to go and check out Ian Hideous' ghost stories, you can find it on his Facebook page or Black Country Extra, and you'll love it. It's a great show, fantastic.
Really
so, till next week, Neil. So we got a little saying. How's it going, Neil? Do you remember?
Go on,
I don't think so. Anyway, so this goes out to you ghost catchers. all you alien twitchers, you cryptid stalkers, and you horror junkies. If you are out this weekend investigating the paranormal in any shape or form, and you don't get any spirits, just do what we do, Neil. Neil, what we do?
We drink them instead, don't we, Johnny boy?
We drink them instead.
We drink them instead. Look at
So we'll see you lot in 2. Have a cracking weekend.
Yeah.
Playing music now, as you do.
How do you do?
Not as you do.
Oh.
See you in 2.